And we're back. Wow. Yeah, I'm sitting here with Imani Batts,
Yes.
the owner of Catherine Trendz.
Yes.
So let's keep this interview moving right along.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start your business?
Um.
Oh, you talked about the pandemic.
Yeah. So I would say, well, I started sewing again. I don't want to say I started my business because
Okay.
my stepmom was just like, yeah, like you should just, start something,
Mm-hmm.
like do a hobby. You don't have anything else to do. So I was like, all right, cool. So I started sewing, and once I moved back to Pittsburgh, I didn't have a sewing machine for a long time. So it took.
Wait, when you say move back to Pittsburgh, because now I'm jumping ahead. Did we close out Italy?
No, we did not.
Okay, so how about we close out Italy? Tell me about some more things. You were taking me through what is like the sensory overload that you're going through.
In Italy.
Right, and then I got off on a tangent about like crime rates and stuff. So if you could
Right.
just take me back to what it was like, finish up what was going on in Italy, and what are some lessons that you took from that experience?
Okay, so I went to the Florence University of the Arts, and I was in the fashion part of it. The university, well, I wouldn't call it a university, but the school for the fashion was called Fly. It was a consignment, and it was more like consignment, and people that were taking classes there was also making their own items to sell in the stores as well, and also just different classes. Pretty amazing. My professors, I love y'all to death. Seriously, like I learned so much. I'm trying to think what classes because it was a long time ago, but it was like fashion marketing, and I did a leather handbag course. I made my own leather handbag collection out of Chanel leather. I like to flex a little bit on that.
Okay,
But,
I see.
And two of my items sold in Italy as well. But
Right. Just a humble brag, real quick.
Just a little something.
I understand.
And I was assistant director, creative director for an event, a denim event that my professor / manager trust me to be a part of, and it was truly amazing. I was able to like go to different boutiques in Italy and like collect merchandise for them and help set up different things. I was also painting and stuff. It was
You paint too?
dabble.
Come on.
Not as much though. Like I was painting on clothes. Like I don't do like a whole big canvas.
But that's still dope though.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you told me about all the different classes you took. You told me about the events that you put together, and then you were there for 2 months. So it began in 2018. What month?
Yeah.
June?
I was August, end of August, but like basically September, and then I came back right before Thanksgiving.
Got you. So you were over there for 2 months. Is a long time.
It is, but it was amazing. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I know a lot of people that were there was complaining like, I want to go home. I'm like, I want to stay here forever.
Right.
And I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Well, I'm glad that you had that experience. I'm glad that you were able to have some tangible skills that you developed out there, because I think, you can make clothes, but can you plan events? Do you know how to reach out to people? Do you know how to troubleshoot a crisis if your event is happening and someone doesn't have the meal that they requested, or someone doesn't have the outfit? Let's say that it's a fashion show and someone has the wrong size, like stuff like that. You got to be able to, because I think what happens as creatives is being able to transition from just being the creative person into being the business person as well. Is a transition.
How do you balance with that? Because I'm literally dealing with that now, and I'm just like,
Well, I'm still learning myself. Like I think that it just requires a combination of organization and also prioritizing your mental health and protecting your energy.
Yes.
Because I think, and setting boundaries. Because I think what ends up happening, I was just sharing this with a student I used to work with. I saw him randomly at the store, and I told him that I saw a meme on Facebook that said something to the effect of, people will mistake you having quote unquote free time for you being available. And like, I could look at you right now. Let's say we're not doing a podcast and I just want to hang out with you. And let's say I see you on live or something and you're not sewing. You're just actually just really just what I would consider BSing. Yeah. So I'm thinking, all right, I can hit her up right now. And as soon as I hit her up, she likes me. She thinks I'm cool. She's got to say yes to me hanging out. Yeah. But what I'm realizing, though, from that meme that I read is that you don't have to apologize for having a day off. That part. You don't have to apologize for taking a personal day. And yeah, we're putting mental health on it now, but people have been doing it for years. It's just that now we're actually in a place where we're okay with people saying outright, I'm not there mentally today. I can't do this, as opposed to lying and saying, oh, my kid is sick or my mom is in the hospital or something. It's like, no.
It's the beauty of saying no.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard for me to say no, but lately I've been learning to say like, no. And it feels amazing.
And to build on what, and to build on what you're saying, I saw another meme one time, and it was talking about how when you're younger, it's about being on the scene. But as you get older, it's about the vibe.
Yes.
And the thing about that is that how many times have you gone to a party that really is trash and is really not your crowd, but you're there because you got to be in the mix, you got to be on the scene. But when you get older, it's like, yo, if I don't want to hear trap music or drill music like 24/7, and I know that's all they're gonna play, or I don't want to hear no whack ass dubstep like they be doing. They be playing like the techno version of "Hypnotized" by Biggie. Yeah, like and then it's just like we used to like down the doom 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 doom. And with them, they're like, it's
like chaotic. It's like, no.
Sorry. I mean, I think that was in White Chicks when he was going crazy. But yeah, I'm not trying to hear all that. But anyway, I got lost on a tangent, so we just gonna keep it moving. So, tell me about why you put Catherine in your name.
Okay. Catherine's my middle name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mystery solved.
Yeah. A lot of people's like, oh, so I can call you Catherine. To be honest, my name is Imani. I'd rather go by Imani. But I understand why people be like Catherine, because obviously that's the name of my business. But yeah, I'm living out her name. I never got to meet the woman I was named after. So I feel like...
Who are you named after?
Catherine Batts, I believe. That was my mom's favorite aunt. So she passed away before I was even born. So I was like, you know what? Let me give her some love. Yeah. But there's also like more background stories of how my name is Catherine Trendz, but...
Got you. Well, that's a good glimpse into why you chose Catherine for the name of your business. Now, I want to talk about the logo. I want to talk about the colors. I want to talk about symbolism. So, if you could, please tell me about what is the science, what is the meaning behind all of your branding.
Okay, so let's start when I was working at TJ Maxx.
Right.
And I used to be in the fitting room, and I will doodle because if no one's in the fitting room, no one's really paying attention to you. So I would doodle, and I learned how to make eyes. I was in art class as well, so I was just practicing. And I was obsessed with eyes. I don't know what it was. So I was just like, all right, I'm just going to keep on practicing. So the one day, I just put the yin and yang symbol in it. And I was just like, I like this. And I was just like, okay, that's when I was diving into my spirituality, learning the balance in life, the good and the bad. And I was just like, all right, I feel like me personally, with life, you have to see the good and the bad with the eye. That's how I like combine all of it.
You can't have one without the other.
Exactly. So Then move forward a little bit. 2019. Let's say that. No. I'm gonna go back. I would say probably when I was in Italy, and I was just working with colors, and I was thinking about it, like it all started. All the colors started with red, yellow, and blue. Mm-hmm. Like those are
primary colors.
Exactly, the primary colors.
Yeah.
It all started with these colors. So I was just like, you know what? If it wasn't for these colors, I wouldn't see this pink. I wouldn't see this type of blue or just like all this. I'm like, all right, so we just gonna put the branding colors of that and then combine my vision that I feel like personally God gave me, because I had no idea why I kept on drawing it. And I was just like, all right, well, obviously this is the logo. So
that's a great story. And actually the part that really resonated with me was where you say you used to draw eyes, because I actually have a friend who is an artist as well. I mean, right now she's pursuing her PhD in clinical psychology.
Oh my gosh.
Right. But
you go, girl.
Yeah. She's amazing. She's amazing. Shout out to Tara. But like, she would, when we used to work together, she would just draw eyes randomly, and you would be waiting for it to be like, all right, finish the face. But it's like, no, I'm going to just do the eye. Like, I'm going to do the shadowing. I'm going to do this part right here. I'm going to put more definition. I'm going to do this to the eyelashes. Maybe I add mascara. And it was all just one eye. But I think what that represented to me is that sometimes the task is just a singular task of focusing on one particular thing and seeing that task all the way through, as opposed to doing a big grand production. Because maybe if you were drawing people, then you would have had a person, but it wouldn't have had the symbolism of the eye, then the yin and the yang in the eye, then the primary colors all combining. And I think it's a beauty in the simplicity of mastering, let me just get this eye right, and then more ideas will flow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that perspective.
Thanks.
Y'all, he's... A1. Okay, go ahead.
I appreciate that. Coming from you, that means a whole lot. So I will definitely play this whenever I feel it. All right. So we're going to move along a little bit. Who are some of the designers or artists in general that have inspired you the most?
The most?
Or even a little bit, if not the most.
No. Definitely the most. I'm going to go with artists because I'm not going to lie. Even though I am a fashion designer, I should read up more on fashion designers.
Okay, that's fair.
But I don't. And that's fair. But I like to... What I was recently just talking to somebody about this. We need to do more research on the stylists of the celebrities.
Yes.
Because the celebrities are not the ones that are putting these looks together.
Not at all.
And I feel like a lot of people think like, oh, they're putting their outfits together. Like some are, right. But a lot of people are getting help.
to interject real quick,
no, you're fine.
I would say Tiana Taylor, for example, strikes me as a person who, even if she doesn't design every single one of her outfits, she's capable of it.
Oh, yeah. She can style herself. That's definitely like one of my like idols that I love. But Rihanna. Like all of them. Rihanna, Tiana Taylor. I'm trying to think who else that I love. Danny Lay, even though she got a little flock. But
she's an interesting person.
Yeah, she got a little flock, but it's cool. She's fly.
Hey, that's the song.
I know it is a song.
That's what he want. Yeah.
It was. Yeah, we're not even gonna get.
We're not gonna touch that.
But I'm trying to think who else. I love when women play with masculine styles.
Okay, I have some names, but go ahead, and if you had a name in mind.
No.
Okay, so
that's all I can think of right now, at least.
So Janelle Monáe, I think when you start talking about like the androgynous, I think that's the right way to say it. That style, she definitely has it, and just from day one, where it's just like. Back in the day, they used to call it gender bending, or if you look at stars from the 80s like Prince and Michael, they were always flirting with those lines. Like they were getting blurred because they're both wearing blouses. Like Prince was wearing heels, Michael's wearing eyeliner. Like they're both going back and forth. But it was never, when they did these things, I never looked at them as being less manly. I just looked at them as being different than I am.
Yeah. I feel like it's them just pushing the envelope. Like, not just being in the box of like, all right, I'm a man and I'm supposed to dress like this.
Right.
And I'm a woman, I'm supposed to dress like that. And it's like,
well, I would say the artist today that is blowing all these things out the water and seems to be enjoying a lot of positive feedback from it is Lil Nas X. Because he's definitely pushing the envelope. And I gotta admit, there are some things where I might cringe a little bit or I might not understand. But his overall value, I think, as an artist and as a voice for people, and I think what people would do with him is they want to, and this is Pride Month, so shout out to the LGBTQ IA plus community, and I definitely support you. I have to do more learning, so I know that there are a lot of things that I don't know, but as a human being, I definitely support you, and I want you all to be able to love who you love and to do that freely without any persecution or judgment from us straight folks over here.
I agree.
Yeah. But back to Lil Nas X, I think people want to put him in a box of being like he only represents gay boys.
Right.
But when I really look at Lil Nas X, to me, I think about Young Thug, I think about Pharrell, I think about Andre 3000, I think about Lil Uzi Vert, and all the names I just named, none of those guys except for Lil Nas X are gay, or at least openly so. Like like all of them are straight. But to me, Lil Nas X, he represents more than just like the gay black boys, even though I'm sure they look up to him. I think he also represents like that boldness, because we saw it a lot with Dennis Rodman in the 90s, who would just do whatever he wanted, wear a wedding dress. He would dye his hair. He would wear fingernail polish. He would do whatever he wanted to do. And at the end of the day, I think a lot of us men struggle with our masculinity being tied to the next person's masculinity, when if I could just focus on being the man that I want to be without projecting that onto other people.
Right.
So if my thing is I wear fitted caps, if my thing is I wear baggy jeans, if my thing is I wear Timbs, then just be that.
Yeah.
You can be that and not make everyone else be that.
Right. You don't have to project that on someone else.
Right. So when I see Lil Nas X, even though there are some times where I'm like, that's a little bit much for me, I'm never going to come out and bash him for expressing himself the way that he wants to.
Yeah, it's definitely, I believe that a lot of these artists are expressing themselves through clothing. Because sometimes, like, a song can do it, but sometimes it's really just how they show up and show out. Yeah. And you can only say I respect that, because a lot of people are scared to be themselves.
They are.
So for someone to be on a platform like that and like a lot of eyes are on him and he's just like, this is me, I respect that.
Me too. I respect it too. And that's why anything that I even fix my lips to think or say that could be negative about him is all going to come back to some stuff that I learned when I was a kid, and that was reinforced as an adult, being around certain guys that really isn't productive to any kind of progression of us as a people. So yeah, I definitely recognize the power in clothing and style, and how Janelle Monáe for a hot minute, she would just wear black and white. Like, she wasn't doing anything else. She was just wearing black and white. She wasn't changing her hairstyle. She
was fly.
She was. She's still fly.
Yeah.
But what was fly back then was, like, to me, her wearing that black and white tux and wearing that pompadour hairstyle for those first 5 or 6 years that she was out, it reminds me, it's no different than Chance the Rapper wearing the number 3 hat wherever he goes. Like, all this stuff is branding. All this stuff is like an extension of who we are, like, every day, who we really are when the lights aren't on. And I feel like people that are willing to live out loud, whether that's about expressing their sexuality or if it's about expressing their religious beliefs or whatever it is that they believe in that makes them them.
Right.
We just got to support them. If we don't understand, ask questions to understand. And it's like, I hate this dog, man. Like, if he just chill out, man, it's like, come on.
It's okay.
I don't know. He might be malnourished or something. Because sometimes, like, I walk downstairs and he'll hear me and I'm like, and then when he knows that I'm out the door and I'm about to lock the front door, the loud, aggressive bark goes to, Yeah, so it's hard, and like sometimes I'll see him in the
poor
back,
baby.
and like his dad or whatever will have him like kind of chained up, and I'll see him, and I can't even go back there because my first thought is, we got to free you, brother. And if I do that, my downstairs neighbor gonna be on my heels talking about saying, "Hey, yo, my man, you see my dog?" No.
No. What are you talking about?
Right. And then
a dog? I don't even know what that is.
Right. And then of course, when he say that, the dog will poke his head out, and then I had to deal with fisticuffs, and I do everything in my power to avoid those physical confrontations.
Yeah, like we don't want that.
No, I'm not built like that. That's why, like, when I'm on the bus or when I'm driving, like the road rage get crazy, and they get crazy, and I'm telling you, I be talking big shit.
Really?
Like when I'm behind the wheel, but when somebody come out the car and they start walking up, for some reason,
pull up and pop out.
Yeah, it's like Jay-Z. He had a lyric back in a song I think called "Ignorant Shit," where he said, "Tough guy disappeared and the bitch come out," and it's just like real for me. So I know my limitations, and I'm not going to subject myself to any kind of bodily harm because I want to prove a point. Nah, that was just me talking shit behind the horn, my brother. But anyway, let's leave that topic right where it is. So.
Oh my god!
If we could reconvene on this conversation, I wanted to ask you to please describe your overview of the Pittsburgh fashion merchandising scene, and specifically, have you been able to feature your custom designs in fashion shows and other merchandising events around the city? Are other fashion people, designers, are they receptive to you? Are they letting you know about opportunities, or do you feel like you're on your own? Just tell me about, come on, Mr. Dog. Just tell me about, I'll try to talk over. Just tell me about what is your overall feeling about the fashion design community in Pittsburgh?
Okay. How can I explain this? I personally feel like I'm not even in that community. I feel like I'm in the vintage thrifting community. Like, I feel like that's my tribe personally. I just upcycle and repurpose. No shade to the fashion designers and this and the third. I don't know a lot of people in that area in Pittsburgh. But I'm pretty sure the more you hear about Catherine Trendz, I'm gonna be in the circle. But I consider myself being in the vintage thrifting, repurposing tribe. And that community there is literally amazing. Like, we uplift each other. Shout out to Lays. He threw 2 events for like vendors to come through and sell their merchandise, because I don't know if a lot of people really know about secondhand and thrifting and sustainability and stuff like that, but it's truly a lifestyle. Like, it all started from a hobby. That's where it normally always starts, just a hobby. But then it turns into a passion, and it turned into like, okay, we're gonna make some money off of it. But that community, love it. Everyone in it in Pittsburgh, love y'all. I know I don't know everybody. Shout out to High Top Thrift, Lays with the Chips. Those are just my bros right there. So
yeah, there's a lot around the city, like House of Vane.
Yeah, I actually met him at the pop-up shop, I believe.
Right. He's dope.
Yeah.
We also have, there's Highway Robbery Vintage, Three Rivers Vintage. There is was it Zed's?
Zed's, yes.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
And
there's Senseless. There's Freshman Vintage,
yes, another good one on Homestead.
Yeah, in Homestead.
Right.
I'm trying to think what else. Secondhand.
I can't think of, but that there, yeah, because
but that's a decent amount.